Hi, everyone. Welcome to Midweek Connection. I want to share a verse with you. Let me show it to you. It's this one right here, right there. You read that? You can't read it. I'll read it for you. This is what it says. And it's from Mark 5, and it's verse 36. It says, ignoring what they said, Jesus told the synagogue ruler, don't be afraid, just believe. Don't be afraid, just believe. Now, what was the context of that? The context is that there was a synagogue ruler whose daughter was very ill unto death. And he decided, even though he was a synagogue ruler and was kind of going against all of the principles of that group of people, he decided to go to the one that he'd heard so much about, and that was Jesus, who had been healing people and helping them in their dire situations. And so he comes to Jesus, and Jesus listens to his story and what's going on. And at the same time that the synagogue ruler, Jairus, begins to speak to Jesus, there's some people that came from the house of Jairus and told him that his daughter had died and there was no reason to bother Jesus anymore. And so that's when it says, ignoring what they said, Jesus told the synagogue ruler, told Jairus, don't be afraid, just believe. Don't be afraid, just believe. Now, at the end of the story, Jesus does go with Jairus to his home and does heal his daughter. And the daughter gets up and begins to walk around. And Jesus even says, I'm sure she's hungry. Give her some food. And so a miracle occurs. And I can't help but think there was a requirement there for Jairus, and that was to not be afraid and just believe. And I know that is an easy thing to talk about. Don't be afraid. Just don't be afraid. Don't let it worry you. Just trust Jesus. But there's something in us when we're in those kind of situations that makes it hard for us to not be afraid. Fear is a natural emotion, of course, and it's good to sometimes be afraid because we get that fight or flight kind of thing happening, and sometimes fear is what can protect us from danger. But Jesus is saying, don't let your fear be so bad that it shakes you to the bone and keeps you from trusting me. And I can't think of anything that would be worse. As a father, I can't think of anything worse than to lose or nearly lose, have a daughter or a son so ill, a child so ill that they may die. And then to hear that they had already died as you're seeking help for them. That would just be devastating, wouldn't it? That would just be terrible. But maybe the context of that story is to remind us that we all are going to get in bad situations. We're all going to have things that shake us to the core, that upset us, and that we are going to be afraid about. And whether we want to or not, we will be afraid. I'll give you, for instance, in a couple of days, I'm going in for just some minor kind of surgery. It's not any big deal, but am I afraid? Well, a little, yeah. And if I'm really honest, I'm probably more afraid than I'm putting on. But I don't want that to keep me from trusting God and trusting Jesus. That he's going to watch over the whole situation. He's going to take care of me. He's going to take care of the doctors, the nurses, the staff that are working with him, and all of those things. So I can trust him, and I can believe in him. That is the message that Jesus gives. That's a message that we need to receive. That no matter what situation that we're in, no matter what we're going through, Jesus is there. And even when we think, well, that's it, that's the end. What else? What else can be done? Jesus says, believe. Don't be afraid. Believe. And that's my message to you today, friends. Trust Jesus and learn to trust him even more, especially in those dire situations that we find ourselves in, those places that just break our hearts, or can try to break our spirits, or can just, as I said, shake us right to the core of who we are and what we believe. And I encourage you in times like that, just to take some time to walk with Jesus and listen to him and let him speak to your heart through the Spirit of God. And I think you'll be greatly surprised at the end result of that prayer and that trust that you put in him, that he is there for you. And to that I say amen. Amen.